Hey there, fellow citizen of the internet. Welcome to the Moses Kabandana Podcast. Today, it is not a conversation between me and a guest, but it is a story about my early childhood dreams and nightmares. So, just like how earlier episodes were about me sharing some of the memories that I have or some of the things that I have done, this one is one of those examples. One of those episodes where I let you into the window of my past here. So, early childhood dreams and nightmares. So, do I start with the dreams or do I start with the nightmares? I guess all dreams, nightmares are also dreams. Okay, the good and the bad. The good being the dreams, the good dreams, and then the bad being the nightmares. Um, I'm gonna start with the good dreams. The good dreams. One good dream that was reoccurring over and over again. And by the way, if you are a dream interpreting type person, just let me know what any of these dreams might mean. So one of the, especially if they are reoccurring dreams, one of my early childhood reoccurring dreams was flying, and I really loved it when I would have that dream. And it, for context, I would have these dreams when I was in a particular orphanage called ADPP. Should I translate? ADPP Cidadela das Crianças, which is translates to the children's town in Portuguese, from Portuguese. And the way that it was laid out, it was such that the ground that you walked on was primarily made out of sand, it was a dirt road, and a lot of like fluff sand, and the sidewalks were of course cement. I tell you this because it's important in the dream. In the dream, I would almost always, if not 100% always, on the sand part. And I would start walking a little bit. And then as I would walk, my pace would pick up. And as my pace starts to pick up, a little bit of the sand and dust starts to be thrown in the air. And eventually I would pick up so much speed, I would start running and running and running, and I would run really, really, really fast. And then I would take one giant leap, and I would, for a few seconds, I would float off the ground, and then I would land sometimes on my stomach, sometimes on my knees, sometimes back on my feet, and I would continue running and running and running, and then the next leap would keep me in the air for a bit longer than just a few seconds. And eventually, I would pick up so much speed that one leap would keep me in the air for a very long time. And that's when I would soar. That's when I would be just flying between trees, like trying to do some of the maneuvers that I would see some birds doing. And it would just be a reoccurring dream that I would have. And I would be so happy when I would have that dream. And it would be a downer when I would wake up because it'd be like, "Ah, I thought I was flying again. I thought I was flying again." And so that would be a reoccurring dream. I don't know what would trigger that dream. I never like dove that deep to figure out what was happening that day or whatnot. And to give you a time frame here, this is probably somewhere between the ages of 7 and 10, 8 and 10, maybe 8 and 11. And so that dream would occur relatively often, as far as I can remember, for sure more than once, and I would be so happy that I guess you might even say that it was a nightmare, because waking up from it was just such a huge downer that it would take me a minute to just I guess we can't fly. I guess we cannot fly. Okay, now going into the bad dream, the nightmare. I don't know if this was a reoccurring nightmare. I don't think I would have handled it being a reoccurring nightmare. But again, for context, when I was a kid, when I was a youngling, marbles were life. were life. I mean, I would trade food for marbles. I loved to play marbles. And so if I had a nice stash of marbles, that I didn't need anything else in life. Like I was good. I had all the street credit that I needed because I had a stash of marbles. So my social cred was there, and it was the only skill set that I pretty much cared for. At least for in a window of time, it was all that I really cared about was how many marbles do I have, and if I have none, what is the smallest step that I can take to acquire one so that I can go play against other kids and win all kinds. So one day, I left the orphanage. I went to a small town nearby, and I went and I played some marbles there, and I won. I won so many marbles. It was so many marbles that all my pockets were full. They were full. So what I did is at the bottom of my feet, of my pants, I tied the bottom of my pants so that I can put marbles on one of the legs or both of the legs, if I remember correctly. And I filled them up to like halfway to my calf, between like my knee and my ankle, and they're both full of marbles. And maybe it was this day that I had this nightmare, or shortly after, or shortly before this. And the dream goes like this, or the nightmare goes like this. I'm walking around the orphanage, and I feel something on my feet, and I investigate again. Remember, there's a lot of sand here, loose sand, and so I feel around my feet, and I reach to feel, to feel what it is that my feet are touching, and it's a marble. I examine it. It's a very, very good marble. I'm like, huh, this is weird. Like, marbles they don't, okay, I didn't question it too much. Put it in my pocket. I keep walking, and more marbles start somehow to appear. So I'm picking them off the ground, and they're like shining. Like you need to really understand how amazed I was at the quality of these marbles. These they were like godsend. They were like straight from the other world, and they were so nice, so smooth, not a hairline on them. And I started picking all these marbles up, and I started filling my pockets with marbles, and the more that my pockets filled up, the more marbles that I would run into, that I would pick off the ground. I picked up so many marbles that just every single pocket that I had was full of marbles. My pant legs were just full of marbles. And I was a happy boy. I was a happy boy until I woke up. I woke up from that dream, a nightmare. I don't know. It's another one of those examples where the dream was so good that waking up was, I guess, the nightmare part of it, right? It was just such a huge downer that I don't remember exactly how long I stayed in bed, but it was like I was bedridden from like a coma or something. I felt so terrible. I even started to feel in my pockets to see if I had any marbles, Yeah, it was not a good dream to wake up from. But this one was not a reoccurring dream. Anyways, that is a short window into one of the dreams, two of the dreams in this case, of my childhood that I decided to share here with you. Do you have dreams that were reoccurring when you were young? If not, do you have dreams that are reoccurring now? And are you willing to share that if it is appropriate? Anyways, thank you so much for listening to this podcast, to this episode. My name is Moses, and I hope that you tune in to the next podcast. I don't know who the host, I'm the host. I don't know who the guest is going to be. But if you like this kind of stories, let me know. I'm more than happy to share with you the stories that I've accumulated over my lifetime. That came out as like sounding like I'm old or something. I'm 30. I don't know much about life yet. Anyways, thanks so much for listening. My name is Moses, and I will catch you in the next episode. Peace. Da, 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 da.